When I was doing my PhD, my sole responsibility was to learn how to do science. So that one day I'm going to be an independent researcher and I could lead independent research in my own field. But later I discovered that my job as a scientist is a lot more than that. My name is Almas. I'm the co-founder of ZikaLab Diagnostics and executive committee member of the GYA. And today I'm going to share with you all some of my experiences that I had while communicating science to general public. Because communication is an important part of the scientific process. It can help non-scientists understand how discoveries make communities healthier and make their lives better. So when I met with investors, they asked me, how can I make money from my science? There were so many questions that I was asked by investors and the policymakers about the research that I had done in my PhD. And I never thought about those questions while doing my research because I was more interested in publishing articles. Then while meeting with politicians and ambassadors, it was also a very different experience for me. I had one experience of conducting a workshop in Pakistan with school boys and girls. There were many different questions that I was asked, but the one basic question was, you are a doctor, but you cannot write a prescription for us. So I was supposed to tell them that what kind of doctor I am. I'm a PhD doctor, and my job is not to write medicine for you, but I can help making new medicines, that can cure you from certain diseases in the future. I thought that this gap just existed in the middle income and low income countries. But last year I was at Berlin Science Week. I did this activity, Soapbox Science, where I got very innocent and naive questions from common public about the science that I was discussing with them. All these experiences showed me that how far science is from the understanding of non-scientific audience. So what happens is that people, they believe more on their previous beliefs or on the myths or on the fake news than the true facts that the scientific community put in front of them. One of the major problems is the language as well. Science has shown that even the same words in different cultures might show different emotions. So there are so many languages in the whole world. If we just talk about English, so there are a variety of words for different moods to demonstrate how happy or sad someone feels. You can see in this slide. So when we are talking about the regional languages, it's very important to describe our science in a way that connects with the emotional side of our audience. The way they seem or they feel it to be more connected with their lives is very, very important. English is the universal language for science. On one hand, it solves so many problems. It bridges the gaps. But also on the other hand, when we talk about communicating science to common public, the general behavior that psychology explains is that even in bilingual people, when you talk to them in English, and I mean the case where English is not their native language, listeners, they are unable to connect themselves emotionally with the context of science. A key first step in learning to understand where people are coming from. They're enthusiastic about obviously something, they're scared for their children, they are scared about the future. They want to have the cure of a certain disease that actually their forefathers suffered from, and there was no cure for that. So rather than dismissing these feelings with the cold facts, we need to show empathy to them. We need to understand those underlying concerns, and we need to show that we share all these emotions with them, and we are here to help them. So when a major scientific discovery generates little public interest, there is a similar disconnect between content and the emotional impact. So to bridge the gap, we must decode science to a narrative that generates feelings. But hey, we are scientists and we are also like normal people. Not all of them are good in the body language or in the way we communicate. So how can we solve that? Training. It's very important to train scientists for communicating science in a better way. And once they get training, the other thing that implies is to act responsibly. because the way we communicate science in a good or in a bad way can have the good and the bad impacts as well. The other thing that is really important is to give rewards and recognition to those scientists among us who are good at communicating science, because it is also time consuming. And giving rewards can also encourage even other scientists to come forward and share their science with their non-scientific peers. Now, one of the questions that I would like to put forward for the audience of this video relates to the scientific communication during crisis, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. The question is, who should be the one or the ones communicating science? In the post-truth era, where millions of individuals not holding any scientific background, is it true that everyone should have the liberty to propagate his or her thoughts while speaking in public to large audiences, such as on the internet or mass media vehicles? Think about this, and we can discuss more in our breakout sessions. Thank you.